Well, Pemandu's role is to program manage. In essence, we are also the architect of the transformation program. We then help the public sector and the government to then develop the program, and then we then program manage it, i.e. to monitor and ensure execution of the projects in a timely and also an efficient manner. The other thing that is very important is when you get down to execution, we have to make sure that we will come in to identify some of the problems and roadblocks along the way and assist in giving the leadership intervention to ensure that these roadblocks are taken out and resolved. We set up a very concrete governance structure to cause it to happen. To ensure problems and obstacles are resolved along the way, we escalate them via steering committee meetings. The Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister chair those monthly meetings together with the Cabinet Ministers. We also have problem-solving meetings led by the Prime Minister himself. He called it the Putrajaya Inquisition. In those sessions, all the problems are put on the table, we discuss them and we resolve them. Then we also create what I call a system of leverage. With 100 people in Pemandu, there's no way we can implement all the programs that were set out to transform the country. We have to leverage on the 1.2 million civil servants, and because they are the guys who make this happen, as well as the private sector, who are the champions and the owners of a lot of the entry point projects. This is then shared with the ministries, then executed by everybody. We want to make sure that the projects we pick deliver the gross national income and the investments and the jobs that we seek. So the more the investment, the more the jobs, the more the GNI, the more likely they are picked as entry point projects. Secondly, we also want companies that come up with their own investments. That means they don't need a lot of government money to cause the projects to happen. The more they put their own money, the more likely they become chosen as entry point projects. The labs identified projects that could deliver high gross national income impact with multiplier effect on the larger economy. Take the MRT, for example. It was in the pipeline for 10 years, but nothing was moving because people measured its feasibility based on the cost of construction and how potential sales of tickets to justify the investment was going to be made. That's why it didn't take off. Because the reality is you cannot justify the MRT project on the basis of ticket sales to cover the costs. But we took a very catalytic approach in dealing with this. You have to appreciate the effects of the MRT in triggering new businesses, increasing the value of properties along the train lines, and saving commuter time so that workers can live and work more efficiently. That is what they did in Paris, that's what they did in London, what they did in Hong Kong and in Singapore. They justified the MRT on the basis of the effect it had on the entire economy, and because the economy grew, the government was then able to make revenue from that through taxes, and therefore that justified the cost of building the MRT. We need to broaden our minds as Malaysians to appreciate what is happening to our country. If you do not walk along the Bukit Bintang and the KLCC path, surely you will not appreciate the covered walkways in the city centre. If you do not enter the small shops and notice the transformation to its layout and the goods under the Tukar project, surely you will also not see the difference. If you do not buy locally grown fragrant rice that I talked about earlier on, and you will not appreciate what we're doing there too. Absolutely about maintaining focus. Every day we are met with requests to put our resources in areas that are popular but do not generate revenue for our country. We have to keep saying no and stay true to our true north. Well, projects succeed and some fail. Our role is to facilitate, not to guarantee success. We create the right conditions and the right business environment to support a project's success. But ultimately, the company has to measure up and make its business plan a success. It's not the government's role to make sure companies succeed. We create the conditions for them to succeed, but it's really down to them. Well, that's a very simple idea. We kind of thought about acupuncture. Just like acupuncture, if you want to heal the whole body, you do not poke at every part of that body. You poke at certain pressure points that will catalyze the whole body. The ETP is catalytic because it creates an optimum business environment that attracts investment. That's what we do. You change the being by doing. That's what I believe. Today we are focusing on making actions happen, and that the actions that will take place in the economy will transform the being of the country. And that by encouraging the civil service to keep doing the transformational activities, that will change how people work to build business and solve problems. It is in the repeated doing that will transform the character of our country to be innovative and perform at a high level. Find out how you can benefit from the initiatives, whether it is to better your career or your jobs, to create bigger and better business opportunities for yourself and your company, or even just to understand how things can get better and how we can improve. Thank you.